friends, we shall be discussing split range control in today's session. And just at the outset, I can say that the split range control configuration has one measurement only, but more than one manipulated variable. It's just opposite to the selective control where we had more than one measurement and only one manipulated variable. It's just the reverse of that. And what we shall be doing in split range control, the output range is split into two parts. The output range may be 4 to 20 milliampere. It's split into two parts. 4 to 12 is one part and 12 to 20 is another part. Maybe it is 3 to 15 psi. So 3 to 9 psi is one part that will be used to control one valve, for example, and 9 to 15 psi will be used to control another valve. But the action which we take to control a single process output is by coordinating the actions of several manipulated variables, all of which have the same effect on the controlled output. Now, what do you mean by that? This needs little bit of brainstorming. What do you mean by it's coordinating the actions of several manipulated variables? I will give you an example. I want to control level of a tank, and the level of the tank is going higher and higher. I will be measuring the level of the tank. It's one measurement. I'll be controlling the level of the tank. That is again one controlled output. But I can do this in two different ways, and I shall be doing it in two different ways. I can reduce the outflow or decrease the inflow and increase the outflow depending upon the situation of the level. Once again, I give more specific example of level. I want to control the level of the tank at 50%, but level right now is 60%. I want to bring the level down. To bring the level down, I can exercise two options. One is that I can increase the flow rate or I can decrease the inflow. What I will be doing is that I will exercise both. First, I will try to increase the outlet and then I will try to decrease the inlet. The effect of both is same and I will do it again both. I will be manipulating both the variables will be used, both of the manipulated variables will be used, and that kind of thing is called split range control. To some extent, I'll be manipulating first variable and then after having exhausted that, after having fully opened or fully closed that, I will start fiddling with the second manipulated variable. My dear friends, if still you cannot comprehend what words I have used, just have a look at the following figure. What you see is that you have two valves, valve 1 and valve 2. The range is 3 to 15 psi. At 3 psi, as you can see from here, at 3 psi, valve 1 is open, fully open, and valve 2 is fully closed. As I move from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 psi, nothing happens to valve 1. It was fully open and it remains fully open. But the valve V2, which was fully closed, it starts opening from 0% to 25% to 50% 75% to 100% open. Now the moment this 9 psi increases, 9, 12, 15, what happens? This is fully open this remains fully open in this range. This is another range, second range. We have split the range from 3 to 15 psi to two ranges. The first range is 3 to 9 psi. The second range is 9 to 15 psi. In 3 to 9 psi, this wall V1, nothing happens to that. It was open here, it is open here, but this wall V2, the second manipulated variable, this starts opening. This starts opening and it fully opens to this point. So at 3 psi, it is fully closed. At 9 psi, it is fully open. In between, you can say at 6 psi, it is 50% open or 50% closed. But in the second part of the range, as you can see, nothing happens to the second manipulated variable. It remains constant, fully open. But then in second part of the range of the controller output signal, we start fiddling with, we start changing the valve V1, and this starts to close. At 9 psi, it is fully open. At 12 psi, it becomes 50% open and 50% closed. And at 15 psi, it is totally closed. So what we do, we have only one measurement and one control output. But this control output is split into two ranges. 3 to 9 is one range, 9 to 15 is second range. In 3 to 9 range, manipulated variable V2 is acting. This remains constant. And in the second part of the range, 9 to 15, this manipulated variable V1, this starts acting and this remains constant. Now, there is something very interesting which is happening, which we shall see about the walls. The first thing which we see is that from 3 to 9 psi, wall V1 doesn't respond at all. It means as long as the pressure is less than 9 psi, it may be 3, 4, 5, 6, anything, V1 will not move at all. It was open at 3, it will remain open up to 9. Second thing which we see is that as far as the second range 9 to 15 is concerned, nothing happens to wall V2. It remain fully open, it will remain fully open. The third thing which we observe is that as far as wall V1 is concerned, it is air to close valve. It is air to close valve and its range is from 9 to 15 psi. At 9, it is fully open. As the pressure starts increasing from 9 to 10 to 11, it starts closing. So we have to have a valve which is air to close and it responds to the range 9 to 15 psi. Normally, the valves are designed to operate from 3 to 15, but here we want a valve to operate from 9 to 15 psi. So we have two options. One is to design a valve which operates from 9 to 15, and second and the better and the most oftenly used uh, option is to make use of valve positioner. To a traditional valve, the traditional valve operates at 3 to 15 psi only, but the valve positioner that accepts the input of 9 to 15 and gives the output of 3 to 15 to the valve. So we don't have to change the valve. A normal valve which is operating at 3 to 15, it can be used in conjunction with the valve positioner which will have this range of 9 to 15 psi. Now, the last thing which we observe from this table, my dear friends, is something about valve V2, that this valve V2 is air to open. You can see its range is 3 to 9 psi. At 3 it is only 100% closed, and as the pressure increases from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, it becomes half closed, half open, and at 9 it is fully open. It's air to open, but its range is now 3 to 9 psi. We can take a normal valve which operates from 3 to 15. We can put a valve positioner in front of it. What the valve positioner will do is that it will accept the input from 3 to 9 psi and convert it into 3 to 15 psi. So its response will be from 3 to 9 psi because it's accepting the controller output from 3 to 9 psi. So in all this game of split range control, it is very, very important to understand the role of valve positioner. That's what we're going to see in the next slides. This is, my dear friends, a valve positioner. As you can see from here, this is a normal valve, and this normal valve, it operates, let us say, from 3 to 15 psi, but we want that it should operate from 3 to 9 psi. So as we give a signal of 3 to 9 psi, it converts this 3 to 9 psi to 3 to 15 psi, and it further controls the valve as it was. We can also reconfigure it, you can call it reprogram it, in a manner that it accepts the signal from control signal as 9 to 15 psi and converts this 9 to 15 psi again to 3 to 15 psi, so that this opens and closes as per the signal received from the control signal. This portion, this box, as you can see from here, it has a feedback link of the position of the valve. So it will not only simply translate the pressure from 3 to 9 to 3 to 15, but it will also ensure that till the required position is not achieved, it can increase the pressure or decrease the pressure, because it requires a feedback. If for some reason the valve is stuck, it's not opening, it will actually increase the air pressure to open it further till it reaches the final position. That's why it is called valve positioner, hence the name is the valve positioner. So valve positioner has three roles. First, to take the feedback and make the valve practically come to that position which is required as per the control signal. This is the first thing. Second, as you can see, is that it can change the range. As we have seen, the range 3 to 9 can be changed to 3 to 15, or 9 to 15 can be changed to 3 to 15, and so on and so forth. And the third and the most important aspect of valve positioner, especially for the bigger valves, is that it provides the volume amplification. The control signal may be coming from a small pipe which is not giving much volume flow rate, and we need to fill this big dome. This is the dome of the valve. In that case, it gives the volume amplification, means the flow rate of this will be higher, much higher than the flow rate of the flow which is coming from the control signal. So these are the three positions, these are the three major roles which are played by the valve positioner. That is to provide transitional, that is position feedback, to adjust the range of input, as I have been already harping on this point again and again, and finally to give the volume amplification. This is what you have seen over here is the schematic of control valve with the valve positioner. How this positioner looks like, you can also see it in the labs, as you shall be attending the labs whenever, or you will be seeing it in the next slide. So friends, here it is. This is the valve, and this is the dome of the valve, and this is the positioner, and this is the link, and this is what you can see. One is the air supply meter, one is the input signal meter, and one is the output signal meter. So you can always convert the input signal from direct acting to reverse acting, or from 3 to 9 psi to 3 to 15 psi, or 9 to 15 psi to opposite, means uh, 15 to 3 psi also, reverse acting you can make it. So as you feel like, you can make all the manipulations. You can, open these screws and make the adjustments and all that stuff. You can configure it or reconfigure it over here, and you can operate. You can make this valve a normal valve, a normal 3 to 15 psi valve, to work on any of the ranges as you feel like, making use of this valve positioner. And now we come to the working of split range with actual proper example. What we see over here, that the range is 3 to 15 psi. It is split into 3 to 9 psi, and 3 to 9 psi we see valve V2 is opening, 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 and thereafter nothing happens to valve V2. It remains 100% open. But from this range onwards, from 9 to 15 psi of the controller output, valve V1, that starts closing, 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 and the effect of opening of the valve V2 is same as the effect of closing of the valve V1. We will take one example to further elaborate this point. My dear friends, this is a reactor, and we are supposed to control the pressure of the reactor. So we measure the pressure. PT stands for pressure transmitter. PC stands for pressure controller. So what we do is that first, let us say I want to change the control the pressure. What I will be doing is, first I will be increasing, this pressure has increased, so I will be increasing the output so that there is more and more flow going out from the reactor, and the pressure actually comes down. But even if after opening this V2 to 100%, the pressure still refuses to come down for some reason, or it is too high to be controlled only by opening off the output, in that case I will start throttling, I will start closing V1 thereafter. So in the next part of the range, this V2 is fully open and V1 starts decreasing. So either you open the output or you close the input, effect will be the same, that is to reduce the pressure. And this is how the controller is going to split its range to have two manipulations: manipulation on the output as well as manipulation on the input. And this is done by splitting the range into two parts to control one output, that is pressure. So this, my dear friends, I think should be a good example for you to understand the working of split range control. In case you have any queries or doubts, you can always contact me through LMS or WhatsApp or Zoom sessions or telephone calls or face-to-face interactions, as the case may be. In case you want to share something which you think can be applied in daily life in control of your finance, like you have some expenses which have gone up, so first you try to increase the income, and then if you cannot increase the income, then you try to curtail the expenses. So this is what the general philosophy is, and I hope that all these strategies can be used in your day-to-day life, even as a student, or later as a manager, or you controlling anything. You may become a deputy commissioner or commissioner of some place, or a CEO of a company. You can still apply all these kind of strategies in your management as well. I thank you for being with me once again. I wish you a very safe stay and enjoy learning. Bye bye.